I learned lessons, before I ever started doing stand-up comedy, about stories and the power of them and who was laughing at who. I worked on the Jersey Turnpike in the summer of 1973. It was the oil crisis, first oil embargo, and they were limiting how much you could get, how much gas you could get. You'd say 8 gallons. And, of course, people were driving these 70s land yachts that got 3 miles a gallon. And we were the last stop before the Delaware Memorial Bridge, going from New Jersey to Wilmington. It was the summertime, and people were worried whether they'd have enough gas to get to Washington, D.C., or wherever they were going, and whether there was going to be gas down the line. There was just a lot of anxiety over gas, and we were making a lot of money because we were working as many hours as we could get because we were getting tips. People were like, "Here, I'll give you $20 if you'll fill up my tank, instead of the 8 gallons." So we were making a lot of money. It was a part-time job. I was working construction in the daytime, and my buddy Ken Corbett got me this job at night. So we were having a lot of fun. And one night, these guys pull in, and I had never seen anything like these guys. They were like right out of Superfly. They had big, this is a cliche, but this is the truth. They had a big Cadillac, and these guys had big brim hats, man, and they had big wide coats and wild colors. These black guys get out of it, and they had New York City plates, right? And they get out of the car, and we were dealing with all sorts of craziness all summer, but these guys were wild. They go, "Hey, brother, how far to Boston?" Well, we were 2 hours south of New York City. I knew immediately he had taken a wrong turn. He was heading for Boston. He was now 2 hours south of New York City. I told him the situation. He says, "Damn, mama." He starts yelling at the other guys. They start yelling. They go, "Thanks, young brother, can you fill us up?" They gave us a nice big tip. We filled them up. They gave me another tip for the directions. They got in the car, and they drove right. I said, "You got to get down to the, get off pay your ticket for the turnpike is down there, and then you can turn around and go back." They went, "Yeah, thank you." And they drove right across the median, man. They just drove right across, man, and right north on the other side, man. And we were howling, laughing, watching, man, because they were just spinning, man, and beer cans were flying out of the thing, and it was just hilarious. And we knew they were just knuckleheads like us. They were drinking, and they made a wrong turn. We'd done this thing so many times going to even Philly. We got lost going from South Jersey to Philly, We understood. We were laughing. So I told the story a couple of times, and people laughed. And one time I told this story to a couple of guys at a bar, and they all went, "Damn, dumb, and N-word." And I went, "Oh, they see it differently than I see it. They're putting something in it that I didn't have in it." But I didn't like telling the story again because of that reaction. That reaction killed that story for me for years. And before I ever knew to think about why people laughed at something, because then it made me think, without even thinking about it, it made me hesitate because why were the other people laughing? Were they laughing the same reason but hadn't said that, right? So that was like an early lesson, which is why people are laughing. And I got really schooled in that. Back in the 80s, I started doing homophobic jokes. I noticed a lot of guys were still doing gay jokes, making fun of gay guys. So as a comic, you always kind of look for where can I go that everybody else is not going. And nobody was doing homophobic jokes. So I started doing a whole string of homophobic jokes. And one of the jokes, my ending story of this, probably 4 or 5 jokes, the last piece in the bit was a guy visiting from Pittsburgh to L.A. And I'm showing him around. I lived in West Hollywood. As we're driving through West Hollywood, he's like, "Geez, look at them. They're everywhere, man. They're everywhere." I said, "This is not like Safari Adventure Park, all right?" Okay, take it easy. And he was really homophobic. So we pulled into Ralph's. I had to get some stuff at Ralph's to take to my apartment. I lived on Kings Road, right off of Santa Monica. And I said, "Let's go. Let's go. We're going into Ralph's." He goes, "I'm not going in there with you. Don't think we're a couple." I said, "Oh, man. All right, then wait in the car." "I'm not waiting in the car, man. I'm not sitting down here alone. They'll hit on me." So I said in my bed, I said, "That's great." Like they're out there waiting in ambush. Like, "There he is. Get down. Sneak up on him. You go that way. I'll go this way." So when I first did the bit, I switched it up a little bit. I gave it a little, "There he is. Get down." And it got big laughs. So I did the bit on Evening at the Improv, just the way I just finally did the last way, with a little bit of swish to it, the character. And I got a big laugh. I felt real good about it. Came over to the bar, sat down in the bar at the Improv. And a gay guy, obviously a gay guy, came up to me and said, "That was very funny. I love those homophobic bits you did. But that last piece, do you think you get as big a laughs if you didn't do the stereotypical character?" Like he had broken it down and that fast. And I went, "I don't know." He says, "Because I'm not sure why they're laughing. Do you know why they're laughing? Are they laughing at the gay character, or are they laughing at you mocking the guy in the car at that point?" he really thought it through and broke it down. It was like, bought me a beer and left. It was like, who was that masked man kind of thing, you know. He left me going, well, I didn't think about that. And then I started doing a joke without the swishing gay character. And I'm telling you, the laugh drop-off was huge, huge. And I stopped doing the bit. I just stopped doing the bit. It's like really important to me. That was a lesson. Like, why are they laughing? Every joke, somebody's getting a pie in the face in that joke. Why are they laughing? And I noticed today, a lot of people are doing jokes like young comics like to do rape jokes or a white guy doing racial material. So what is the point of that joke? Where's the laugh falling? Who's the laugh falling on? And I mean, years ago, even after I had that incident with the guy at the bar, I had a joke about rape. I did a joke about rape. There was something that happened in the paper. I remember reading it, and I did a joke about rape. I said, rape is and I remember reading a book or something, rape is a violent crime. It's not a sexual crime. If rape was a sexual crime, women would be raping men. I'm telling you right now, if a woman puts a gun to my head, the last thing she's going to get is an erection. My leg will be shaking for a couple hours if she wants to hop on that. And I did this joke, and I never got any problem from it. And I always, there's no answer to this, but I always wondered. I said, because this joke I was doing in 1991, 92, you know, earlier than that. I think I was doing it in the 80s, mid 80s. And I always thought, if I bring it back today, would it be offensive today? Have things changed that much? Has things changed? Or would the joke, because I always felt the joke land on the rapist. I always thought the joke landed on the man. And so I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. But it's always something I tell every young comic if they're doing some edgy and they ask me about something. I go, where's the joke landing? Who's the joke landing on? And I always felt I was sure about that.